All right, you guys, welcome back to another commute with Clint and Greg. Clint,
we're still in Iowa driving.
Still in Iowa driving. But these are what we do for our commutes. They're fun.
Since
we honestly do get out and drive.
We're not going to work anymore, and really,
we're not.
No.
Oh, you mean just for today? Oh, damn! You had my hopes up.
No, sorry. I didn't mean to crush your dreams there.
I'm not going to work anymore. Woohoo!
Yeah, no.
You mean for today?
Yeah, okay. For today. Plus, highway use. The truck sits a lot, so taking on the highway is a good thing. Give it some exercise.
It's a nice day today. Sadly, it's
only 80 degrees, so that's not bad.
We're lucked out here because there's a hurricane, hitting New Orleans.
Yeah, again,
Category 4, and we got other areas around us up in a place called Olin, some damage. I see some pictures out there.
Yeah, they got some.
In our area, you would never know nothing's happened. It's a nice day. We're driving around.
We did get some rain, which was good. We really needed the rain. But that was about it, yeah.
So, Clint wanted to talk about interesting places to game.
Yeah, so I got thinking the other day. You know, we did that little combat patrol for 4th edition just to kind of test out how to play 4th edition. Well, we went to the park to do that.
Yeah.
Remember? And, we put out the board from the Speed Freak set. We used our miniatures and, we were there, an hour and a half?
At a pavilion. I don't think it was that long. Is it a pavilion?
And that was a park close to your house.
Yeah, and we had a lot of interest. People looking and asking questions. So.
Well, that got me thinking. Then you made comment that the one coffee shop we go to that we game in their conference room quite often, they were always coming in and kind of poking their nose to see what we were playing because they didn't even know these games existed.
Now we got a couple of them interested.
Yeah, so I thought, well, geez, why don't we talk about places to play? Not so much terrain, although technically you're talking about terrain, but just places. I mean, you've always got your hobby shop. There's always going to be the hobby shop to game in. There are very few hobby shops that don't have card tables, folding tables, benches, dedicated gaming tables, whatever, so you're always going to have that. That's really cool. Then you've got your, I'm going to say churches for most of the card events, because a lot of the churches will host like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic. That happens a lot at a lot of the church convention centers, because they've got the big space,
They've got the space.
Also board game nights, sometimes they'll do that. But the other stuff what I thought was cool is like the park. Okay, so there's something we did on a whim. But state parks. And I want to talk specifically about some of the stuff we had here to use for my example.
Okay.
So you already know where we went out and played with the RCs, and we go out hiking. Palisades Kepler State Park, and it's rocky terrain, right?
Yes.
It's great for the RCs to crawl up and down and go over. Well, that terrain is the way a lot of it is shaped. It's great for stuff like BattleTech when you're not using the hex. So you can go in and clear off a 3 foot by 3 foot, we'll say, chunk of rock that's been there for God knows thousands of years.
Flat. Yeah, there's actually a lot of terrain over there.
Yeah, some of it's flat, some of it's steeped. You've got some different elevation levels. Well, you go in, you bring a paintbrush, because that's what we did, and you brush off all the extra dust. You can play a really cool BattleTech game there. Now, most of the time, you're out in the sun, so you want to, sunscreen, a hat, something. Ooh, he is wobbly.
I wonder if he's got a busted wheel.
He might, or a broken axle. So we're behind some farm equipment, one of the big balers that holds like the grain in the bales. And while we're not moving fast, in fact, we're only doing about 30, this guy's trailer is literally all over the road. I'd say he's got a bent axle or he's about to lose a tire. But this thing is just, it is left, right, wall the road. People are afraid to actually pass him, and we're the third car in the line. Wow.
That's bad.
That makes me, he's not going fast. He's probably doing 20, 25.
Yeah, because you're slowing down.
Yeah, I'm having to slow down. I'm going to run over the people in front of us. And you can't really see around him because this thing's probably, 15, 20 feet tall. Maybe 15 feet. So it's hard to see.
It's interesting what we run across.
We are in farm country. I'm wondering if he's not, he is towing with a truck. I can see the mirror. I thought maybe he was towing it with a tractor. And it looks like it's two of these trailers hooked together.
Yeah, he's dual.
So they're moving this stuff because it is getting to be harvest season. out here. People are going to want to do that. I'm betting he's going to turn off here somewhere. Boy, he is really that makes me nervous.
No, just you watch and then we'll talk. But
yeah, for sure. So, I mean, eventually we can probably get around him, but wow. Yeah, I don't want to be too distracted. But, yeah, so we would dust off the train, and then we would just play Battletech. I mean, we just, each hex is an inch. So we, of course, would just use a tape measure for that. But it was a lot of fun playing Battletech. Now, you had to have clipboards to hold your sheets on, and,
But it's interesting, if you think about it, to go outside.
Yeah.
Because when we game, we're always thinking tabletop.
Yeah.
Or at the hobbies, if you got a store to game at or something like that. But we haven't really run across anybody else playing Warhammer in the park.
No, we really haven't. I don't think I've ever seen that. Maybe on a video somewhere.
Maybe I can't recall, honestly. I've seen a lot of battle reports and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't see them. So, and I guess keep your eyes open for places to game.
Yeah,
that are different.
Don't narrow your thought to just, it's got to be at the hobby store. It's got to be on this table. It's got to be. I mean, tournament-wise, yes, it makes sense that you have to use the tables. That makes perfect sense for tournaments.
That's tournament play, though.
But I personally, that's dangerous. Okay, so the reason he's wobbly is because he's driving a Ford F-350, towing a car trailer with 2 grain trailers attached to the car trailer.
That's 3 things.
So he is, wow, that is, and it's not even a gooseneck trailer. It was just a regular hitch trailer.
Bumper hitch.
Not saying the truck couldn't handle it, but that's really risky. Okay, back to it. Yeah, I forgot we did that because it was so long ago. I mean, we're talking 90s when I was doing that,
Well, so you and some friends got to do that with. And Battletech would be that would be where you could take a couple models.
Yeah.
You don't need a whole bunch for that game, maybe 1 or 2, and you could put them on.
And it'd be awesome to photograph or video it because you've got natural terrain that you're setting your scenario around. You're basically just moving, hex facing was a little tricky. Nowadays, I could just get a single hex and you could just set that under the miniature, turn its facing, and then take it off and set it back down. There's so many ways you could get around with a little template or something for that. But and now you've got, of course, Alpha Strike. You've got the rules of playing on normal terrain versus hex terrain for Battletech. So you could always utilize that as well. That's an option too. But state parks, national parks, normal parks, anything. I mean, grassy field areas does make it a little more limiting. Although, if you get someone who trims the grass enough, we could probably pull off a really cool Team Yankee in a field somewhere.
You could.
It'd be interesting. But that's where I'd want to do the RC tanks and stuff like that.
Well, that's different though too, because if you could play. So you guys know a game called Gaslands, right?
Yep.
Or a rule book. So you can pick up whatever Matchbox, Hot Wheel cars. Yep. And the rules were designed to just take the toys you had at home and fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Clint's kind of upscaled that to where he would like to do it with RC cars, which, why not? You could do that outside. You're not forced into gaming inside on a table. Now, inside on a table, I have nothing against. We game like that all the time.
Yeah.
You know what? In the winter, we're not going outside 40 below zero to game so outside. But the one day that we were at the park, and I put that up, you guys can check it out on the TikTok. It's like a minute video, but it was really nice. Number one, it was just a mentally change of pace. We were outside, and
weather was good. We had shade, so that helped.
And it was just a nice, relaxing time. All we did was get people interested in gaming.
Yeah,
really.
A lot of people who wouldn't normally game at least wanted to see those old ladies walking. They were kind of like, "Hey, what you doing?"
They didn't even know what. Yeah, so that's another thing too, you guys. If you game in an area is different than what you're used to, you have a chance to be able to, show off the game to people that don't know. I'm telling you, at the coffee shop we went to, again, as Clint said, these guys that were there, they had no idea these games existed.
Yeah.
They finally got curious, and one weekend they come back like, "What are you guys doing?" And so we showed them, and then we played Star Wars there the one time.
Yeah.
And they were just enthralled. They love Star Wars, but they didn't know that there was X-Wing.
Yep.
And they didn't know about, all these other games, Team Yankee and stuff. So
yeah,
if you can hit up different places to play, I don't know, maybe you guys leave us some comments or send us some ideas of where you games, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's always options. And sometimes it's kind of fun just throwing down a quick game near the river or lake or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know about playing, Victory at Sea actually on the lake. That might be a little tricky, but
your pieces might
your
sink.
Boats keep floating away or your ships sink. Yeah, I'd hate to have my miniature sink to the bottom of the lake. And Victory at Sea would be hard to do with RC boats. There's some really cool historic RC boats, but just to get them to do that is tricky.
I think we would get away from it, Clint. We'd be starting to play on the water, and then it would just be it would turn into something
I didn't know. Speaking of RC boats, I have to share this. I didn't know if you knew this. They now have radio-controlled torpedoes for the RC boats. Yes, you can fire a little torpedo from your boat and steer it.
Wow.
Yep, and steer it.
I want one of those.
It's hilarious. I was watching a group of guys do it. So it's just this little. I mean, we're talking. You're talking an RC boat that's probably about 6 feet long, and your torpedo is probably a foot and a half.
Oh wow!
But you can control it with the controller. So the way the one guy did it, they were doing a reenactment for a historic battle from World War II. So his controller, he would flip a switch on his controller, and the boat would no longer be controlled. The torpedo would be. So once he fired the torpedo, he just flipped that switch, and then he could steer the torpedo, so it would hit the other ship. And they actually have RC submarines that do submerge and surface and everything.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, those are. I mean, the RC ship stuff is incredible now. It is well beyond what you expect. Of course, model ships even are so well beyond what they used to be.
Well, we do have technology has really increased a lot, just exponentially, really.
I was looking at the USS Iowa at the Mojave store while I was killing time in Iowa City, and I can't remember the scale, but the box was 3 feet long. The box was.
Oh, God.
So you can only imagine how long the ship was.
Well, it's like some of these things just get big, like you guys have seen, I'm sure the Lego, especially the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Huge Star Destroyers and Millennium Falcon and whatnot. But speaking of which, see, I went to Mall of America, so my brain's going to deviate.
Oh, sure.
And this was years ago, and they had a Lego shop in there where you could buy the custom Lego tanks, and they had a Lego city that looked like a battlefield. I have no idea how they even did this. I mean, but it looked phenomenal. And people could come in there and check things out. And that's the thing is, even if you were, say, a mall. So if you go to a mall and you've got the eating area and you want, there are some games you can go and just sit down and throw down a short game. Like that Tanks But No Tanks would work real well.
Yeah.
That game is a 7 to 10 minute game type of thing, or 15 minutes, and you can easily play. I don't know, we're just looking for different places to play.
I mean, you see people playing, or at least in New York especially, you see people playing chess in the park. They just bring their chessboard, set it on an outdoor table, and play. So there's no reason you couldn't do other stuff like that.
Nope, the worst we'd have is people asking us, what is that? What
exactly. And we would definitely have people ask us, what's that? But it wouldn't be, oh my God, what? People are like, hey, what you playing? Hey, well, that's neat. What's that? Red Dragon Inn, for example, that sparked a lot of interest. Of course, now granted, that was a giant box I brought in, so because that had a lot of card decks, and that was a lot of fun, and that could be played anywhere.
But you could scale it down and take only what you need for 2 people.
Yeah, easily.
And you could sit at a restaurant.
Yep, we could do it at a restaurant
and have something to snack on or whatever. And
we've done that. We played. Dee and I play tested Aeronautica Imperialis at Scooters.
Oh, well,
and all we really was doing was we laid out half the map because there wasn't enough room for the whole map. And we just moved the planes. I mean, she pretty much decimated my ships in the first turn.
Well, I remember, you said you gamed with her and she wiped you out.
She just did. Literally, she fired once and both my fighters were just down. They were done. There was nothing.
What?
Yeah, it was pretty sick. I mean, it was
pretty
just
sad.
But, we didn't really move the planes on the board other than to get a feel for, well, this is how you would turn, or this is how this maneuver would work, and then this is how you roll to determine. So we've done BattleTech at the coffee shop too, but again, just kind of one map, just real simple, trying to figure out. I'd like to have you play a little more BattleTech first of all, so you get a better feel for it, and then go out to Palisades actually and do a quick game on some of the terrain. We just figure out a good section, set up some cameras, and just play.
Yeah. And you could. There's plenty of areas there for a mech type of game to be played.
Yeah, I mean, it is beautiful. I have just put the miniatures down for scenery, and photograph it is awesome.
Well, and you would have a lot of people stopping because you've got a trail there.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to get to some of the stuff like what Clint's talking about, people are going to come and go, and that's going to spark interest too. Now watch other channels copy our idea.
Oh well.
But well.
It'll happen.
Have fun. And that's the whole point of the game.
Yeah, that's the point of have fun. Make it as realistic as you can make it without, obviously you can't make it perfectly real, but I don't know. I like having a natural terrain. Even if we do add a few things to it.
So, like, go on to Germany for Tank Fest, maybe pick up some real tanks from the war.
Sure. Let's,
World War II, have them shipped. Yeah, could you
find
see that?
Find a farmer who'd let us use his field.
There was an article that prompts me on and I just glanced at there. So this guy, I guess a whole bunch of people got upset because he bought a non-functioning tank. I mean, obviously it's non-functioning. It drives. Yeah. And of course he had the rubber, treads on, so you could drive it on
the road. Yeah.
Drive it on the road. So everybody's harassing him, even the police. Like nobody knew what to do. And he just bought this tank just to have and put it in his front yard. And I could see me and Clint doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
And then go, okay, it's your move.
Yep.
And position them. So yeah, that would be fun. If you had money, that would be neat.
Yeah.
That'd be a blast.
That reminds me. I know we've talked about the Sherp before, which is that big 4-wheel Russian. Basically, it's an ATV. Well, actually, looking at the mechanics of it, it's basically a forklift. It's a forklift motor. It's like a Renault forklift motor. But it goes everywhere. The tires are huge. They're balloon tires. You put like 5 pounds of air in them, but they can go over all terrain, including water. Anyway, there are some people in the United States that have these. Nice. And they're cool. I mean, they're small. They're no bigger than like a side-by-side or a little UTV. But they're just, huge tires. Like the tires are 6 foot diameter. They're kind of like inflatable monster truck tires. But if you look up a Sherp, you'll see what I mean. I'd love to have one. The thing is awesome. It holds like 4 people. It goes over just about any terrain, including water, because it'll drive on the water. Because they're just giant flotation tires. And you drive it like a Bobcat. So you have 2 levers, your left, right, your brakes, you brake steer it and everything, just like a Bobcat. But so I was watching this video of this gentleman who had one, and he was talking about the upgrades he was doing to it to make it a little faster, to take some of the governing off of it, because I guess it can't go above like 15 miles per hour the way it's governed, but you can go in and remove the governing and it'll get up to like 25. So it's not like super fast, but a little better in open terrain. And I can't remember where this gentleman lives, but it's somewhere it's not Minnesota, but it's somewhere there's a lot of lake and wildlife area. And they have the one trail that he shows it on a lot of times is some sort of 4-wheel drive off-road trail. So it's not like he's running it. Well, I mean, legally he can drive it on the street. It does have headlights and turn signals. But he was the reason I saw his video was because he took it out because he parks it in his garage. He just parks it in his house. Anyway, he's got like a 4-car garage, and one of the stalls is a little taller for this Sherp to fit in. Obviously, he's got money if he has one, because these things are super expensive. So he'd drive it down the street 2 or 3 blocks to this trail area, and then he'd drive it back. And so the one video I watched was one of the people along this ritzy housing area that he lives called the cops saying that he was driving this tank around. Like, this thing doesn't look like a tank. It's got 4 wheels, first of all. There's no gun turret. There's no weapon on it at all. It looks more like, an SUV with giant tires. And so it was funny because the police showed up and were waiting for him to come back out on the trail. So they immediately stopped him, but they were laughing so hard when it came out of the woods to see what it actually was, because they were just like, this thing is awesome. So they were just like chatting with him, and so it's funny to watch the videos. If you ever do find it on YouTube, it's funny. But yeah, the neighbor called because he was driving a tank on the street. It's not even a tank. It had license plates. It had headlights and taillights. It's a vehicle. It's no different than you driving an ATV on the street or a UTV side by side on the street. No different, really. Just a little taller and a little weirder looking.
Yeah.
But so the cops were like, well, it's legal. There's nothing they can do about it. But yeah, the person called and said he was driving a tank on the streets. Well, you can legally drive a tank on the streets.
Yeah, so long as you got the...
As long as you got the rubber tracks.
Yep.
You've got the slow-moving vehicle marker. At least here in Iowa, all you need is the slow-moving vehicle marker because they treat it in Iowa as a tractor. So we could drive a Sherman tank down the road.
You know, a lot of those after the war, farmers used for a while.
Still do, some of them.
As tractors.
Yep.
But there's a lot of cool areas to game. I mean, you just gotta try to think about doing something different. That's what we're doing. It's just something different out of the ordinary, and it works. It's also more enjoyable, and it makes the game somewhat more fun, whatever you're playing to me, because now you're doing it in a different environment. There's a little bit more excitement than normal. I guess that's kind of how I took it. Like when we went to the park, I was just really worked up a little bit more about it. It was just nicer to do.
When we did it at the park, it was like, let's just grab some stuff, let's throw down a quick battle, but let's just go. It already was a shit day at work anyway that day, as I remember. So yeah, we just went out and did it. It was a lot of fun, but
we'll have to do it again too.
Oh, for sure. That was a great place to throw down something like that. That's also a good place to throw down Team Yankee or Flames of War.
That's what we should do next time, is take out Team Yankee.
Because technically you do X-Wing there too.
Yep. Well, before it gets cold again.
Yeah.
And at some point, I mean, it's the end of August, so.
Yeah, for sure.
We could do that. I don't know, you guys. When you're hearing this as a podcast, you can leave comments.
Yeah.
So leave in the comments, where do you enjoy gaming? Do you enjoy gaming outside? I mean, I did put up a short on our TikTok channel when me and my wife went camping. We rented the cabin that I told Clint about. Now this sounds fancy, but it's a $50 to rent the cabin, so it's not even the cost of a hotel room.
Yeah.
And we gamed out there. I actually bought, my goodness, I can't remember now, the little pirate game.
Oh, yeah.
To play, which is actually kind of fun. And the only drawback we had was it started getting too breezy to move the cards around.
Yeah.
But it was kind of nice sitting there watching. You had this nice view of where they were and the lake, and just to kick back and try to game was relaxing, and that's all I'm saying. It's just, we could maybe go somewhere and kick back.
I just had a cool thought. We need more money to do it, but because that's always the thing. You need more money. What would be fun is you and I do Battleship by the lakes, and we just travel around to all these lakes and just play Battleship.
That would be interesting.
That would be kind of fun. Here we are in front of Lake Superior. The waves are crashing. There's big ships moving around, and we're playing Battleship. That would be fun. Because people would tune in to watch that.
And we can make it like, everybody knows the old Where is Carmen Sandiego? Where is Greg and Clint?
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
We'd upload a video, and our family would have to guess where we were at.
Yeah, they might not be happy about. I don't think they'd like that game so much.
It would be fun.
Where is Greg and Clint? I wonder.
All right, you guys, we're going to send you a video every other day. You figure out where in the country we went. Think about it. Oh, by the way, we're not there to take care of everything. You guys have to do it.
Yeah, have fun. Good luck.
Have fun. Good luck.
Yeah, I don't see that quite. Yeah, I can see your wife listening going, oh, the hell you will.
Clint's sitting there at the table. There's a cold front moving in. Oh, God. She found us. Sorry, babe. Anyways. Yeah, but it would be fun, though.
That would be kind of cool. It's something to keep in the back of our minds, because I think it'd be just a fun little thing.
Maybe we'll do that. Like, guess where we're at.
Yeah.
But do it like by maybe, I don't know, like a...
Well, I can think of a couple lakes just around here that we could totally do that at.
Yeah.
And you know, it'd be a little trickier for some of the people who aren't in the state or aren't familiar with the area, but it'd still be kind of fun. I mean, it'd be a fun little video of just playing a quick game of Battleship by the lake and just recording it.
Just be like, go to Texas, buy a lake, and the people we know in Texas on the gaming channels, guess what? You guys are down the street? Yeah, we're down.
You didn't tell us?
Oh, we told you. You had to find the clue. Yeah. That might be interesting.
That would be kind of cool.
I mean, just a different take on things.
Yeah, it is. And the Battleship is so simple. I mean, it's really...
We were going to do that at work, honestly, Clint, in the chat.
We should still do that at some point.
I don't think. Could you imagine in the middle of the chat, all these people are talking about business stuff, and someone puts up B1, and then the next time, C whatever. You know, they don't know.
After a few minutes, people are like, "Are you playing Battleship?"
I think it would dawn on them after a couple of times.
Yeah, after a couple of times, they'd be like, "Are you playing Battleship?"
As soon as you type back, if you said something and I said this, they're gonna go, "Wait a minute, are you playing at work?" No, we're not playing at work. Well, technically.
Well, you know. If there's no calls and we've got all our other stuff entered, you got time.
Except for like today, it was a crazy
today. Well,
day.
yeah, I totally did not expect to be able to do anything outside of work today during work. Yeah, you know,
crazy.
I managed to get coffee. That was about it. But
so you covered the important stuff.
Yeah,
you got coffee.
You know, but that is the weekends are a gamble. They're either really dead and there's time to do other stuff, like paint or assemble miniatures, for example, or they're just super busy and that's all you're doing. You're responding to emails, you're dealing with calls, you're trying to fix problems. You know, that's just the nature of the job. You know, it's a call center job. You're not always going to be super slammed or super dead. You just
that's true.
It just works. That's how it works.
Yeah. You never can tell what it's going to do.
We're still answering the phone. We're still serving. You know, bite my tongue for a second. How I was going to say, we're still attending to the customer's needs.
We're doing our job. Let's make that very clear.
So you know, it's just if there's no calls and you don't have stuff you have to enter or emails you have to respond to, then there's really nothing going on but waiting for the call. You know,
yeah.
I mean, there are certain things. Painting is really hard to do.
That's hard to do because you get interrupted and
you know. But
don't try to put decals on something.
No. I did RC build stuff where I was I'm putting pieces in and putting screws in. You know, it's not that hard. I mean, I built that one chassis on one Saturday. Well, we were dead, so I built that RC chassis over a course of like 4 hours. You know, so it wasn't a fast build, but you know, in between calls, I get a call, I set it down,
and that's
answer the phone call and go back to it after.
Well, we had to leave the building last year, beginning of last year. We went to an outbuilding in a secret location. Right?
Yeah.
And we had a little table there, so we played Blitz Bowl.
Yeah, we did some Blitz Bowl.
In between
that
stuff.
Was fun.
And actually, that is a fun. That's another. You got the second edition, right?
I have all the Blitz Bowl stuff.
We really need to do it. And it's not a hard game.
I got all the extra teams built for Blitz Bowl. Now I don't have any of them painted, but I do have them built. The only thing I have painted is my orcs, and then I started working on your human team.
Well, that's okay. I mean, I think people will be able to tell humans, orcs.
Oh yeah.
So we should, because that was a game I honestly was not.
Yeah.
Really interested in, and Clint picked it up and then played it, and I thought, you know what, this is one of those you don't think you're gonna like it, but you like it. It's funner than you thought, and
it's stupid fantasy football. It's stupid simple.
Yeah, you can't take it.
Yeah, it's
seriously.
But that's the point of the game, especially with second edition when the ball does things. Now you got the ball possibly exploding, poisoning you, stabbing you, killing your player. You know, it's possible the ball could be the detriment to you.
Oh, that's dangerous.
That's what's nice about the second edition, is you know you have these effects from the ball. So not only do you have to deal with these fantasy creatures trying to kill you in the middle of the process, but now the ball might kill you too. Possible the ball might hatch. Also, one of them, depending on the team.
Hatch?
Yeah, so if you play the Lizardman team, it is possible the ball might hatch.
Oh.
In which case, the lizard bites you, you take damage and possibly go back into your dugout, and then the ball has to come back into play again because it hatched.
So we'll have to do a video on that then.
Yeah, we definitely need to do...
Because we did Blitz Bowl, the original one, but the second edition, like anything else, we tend to get into games and then, darn it, they turn around the next year and change it.
Yeah, now Blitz Bowl, that makes sense because it's a Barnes & Noble exclusive. I mean, you can find it on eBay. You can still find copies in Barnes & Noble. It's not a heavy price point. It was... What was it? It was 40 or 50 bucks for the box set.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
It wasn't a lot. I mean, I think it was 50. So I think I got about 100 invested in the box sets between. But in between those box sets, I got four teams. Now, granted, I have 2 duplicate human teams, but I ended up with an orc, a dwarf, and a human, and 2 human teams, which really doesn't matter because, like any of the races, you paint them different, and they may be orcs. You may have 2 or 3 different orc teams, but they're all different orc teams. You may have 2 or 3 human teams, but they're different human teams. So
that's pretty cheap if you got 4 teams. We should try that place.
Yeah, we totally need. Oh, look, RC sailboats.
Yep, RC sailboats.
That's cool.
They do that quite a bit there.
Yeah, I believe it.
They do.
So, yeah, that's one we should dedicate. We should definitely do a Blitz Bowl for sure. And I think like Keegan would enjoy it. I know your wife would enjoy playing it.
I think she would like it if she gave it a chance. But she's just not into football stuff. But I'm not really like a football fan.
Not either. But
the game was fun. Yeah.
And it's not by any means football. I mean, it's
fantasy football.
You guys, you're blitzing, you're blocking, you're tackling, you're stealing the ball, you're trying to make a touchdown.
And that's about it. It's the basics
of it. Yeah.
It's fairly brutal, so. But it's fun. I mean, it's one of those games, y'all. You guys gotta give it a shot. Try to see what you think.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're going to end our commute here because we're almost done now.
We definitely tangented at the end, but that's okay. We did keep it on gaming at least.
Yeah, well, sometimes we divert a bit, but that's the nature of the beast, although we do try to keep it more on subject than we have before. So
yeah, we're trying to be better about it, so don't shoot us.
You guys need to let us know, where do you like to game?
Yep.
Leave a comment. Wherever you want, and join our group if you want. A Facebook page you can follow it and even post. I have it open. I don't have that restricted. So you can find us anywhere, and you can find us on almost any platform, the podcast. So we'll catch up with you guys later. Anything else, Clint?
No, that's all I got.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys go. Clint will let you guys go, and we'll catch you next time. Have fun. Keep gaming. That's what it's all about.
Yep.